Welcome back to Narrations. Peter Parker has survived the battle of his life. Thanos is gone. The vanished half of the universe has returned. But for Peter, coming back doesn't feel like a victory. He has lost the man who became his mentor. Tony Stark is gone. And Peter is still trying to understand what his life is supposed to look like without him. Now Peter is finally getting something he has wanted for a long time. A vacation. A school trip through Europe. But Peter's plans to forget about being Spider-Man are about to disappear. Because a new hero has arrived. And a new threat is rising from another universe. Or at least, that's what Peter is led to believe. The story begins after the events of Avengers Endgame. The world is still trying to understand the consequences of the blip. People who disappeared 5 years earlier have suddenly returned. Peter Parker is one of them. But life has moved on without him. His classmates are now 5 years older. Some people have lost family members. Others have built completely new lives. The world calls the event the blip. But Peter simply wants things to feel normal again. He wants to go back to school. Spend time with his friends. And maybe finally tell MJ how he feels about her. Peter's best friend Ned has also survived the blip. The two are excited about their school trip to Europe. They plan to visit Venice, Prague, Berlin, and London. Peter sees the trip as the perfect opportunity to get closer to MJ. He even buys a necklace for her. He imagines telling her that he likes her. But there is one major problem. Peter is still Spider-Man. And Aunt May knows it. May has become much more comfortable with Peter's superhero identity. She even uses Spider-Man to raise money for people affected by the blip. Peter is embarrassed by the attention. He wants to leave Spider-Man behind during the trip. But May reminds him that being a hero isn't something he can simply switch off. Still, Peter hopes he can ignore his responsibilities for a few days. Before Peter leaves, he receives a mysterious package. Inside is a pair of glasses. They once belonged to Tony Stark. Peter is confused. The glasses appear to be ordinary. But they are actually extremely advanced technology. They are called E.D.I.T.H. Tony designed them to give their user access to his global satellite network. Weapons. Drones. Intelligence. Almost anything connected to Stark Industries. Peter doesn't want them. He doesn't believe he's ready for that kind of responsibility. But Tony left them specifically for him. Peter and his classmates arrive in Venice. For the first time, Peter tries to enjoy himself. He sees beautiful buildings. He spends time with Ned. And he tries to get closer to MJ. But then, something enormous attacks the city. A massive water creature rises from the canals. People run for their lives. Peter knows he can't just stand there. He secretly changes into Spider-Man. And swings into action. Peter fights the creature through the streets and canals. His webs slow it down. But the monster is too powerful. Then another hero appears. A mysterious man wearing a strange suit. He manipulates the elements. Water bends around him. He attacks the creature with incredible power. Peter watches in disbelief. The mysterious hero defeats the monster. The people of Venice cheer. Peter has no idea who he is. Later, Peter learns his name. Quentin Beck. He comes from another Earth. According to Beck, his world was destroyed by creatures called elementals. Earth's universe is now being threatened by the same beings. He claims that the creatures have crossed into Peter's world through a tear in reality. Peter doesn't know what to believe. But Beck seems genuine. And more importantly, he seems like a hero. Nick Fury contacts Peter. Peter tries to avoid him. He doesn't want another mission. But Fury tracks him down. Peter explains that he is on a school trip. Fury doesn't care. He tells Peter that the elementals are real. And Beck needs help. Peter insists that the Avengers can handle it. But most of the Avengers are gone, or unavailable. Iron Man is dead. Captain America has retired. Thor is off-world. And the world needs someone. Fury believes that someone is Peter. Peter refuses. He wants to focus on his friends. He wants to be a normal teenager. And most importantly, he wants to spend time with MJ. But Fury isn't giving up. Peter is eventually pulled into the mission. He meets Beck again. The two begin working together. Peter starts to admire him. Beck appears to be everything Peter thinks a superhero should be. Confident, experienced, powerful, and willing to protect everyone. Peter begins wondering if Beck could be the person who takes Tony's place. Another elemental attack occurs. This time, the creature is made of fire. It emerges in a small European town. Beck battles it. Peter joins him. Together, they defeat the creature. Peter watches Beck use his powers. He is impressed. The two heroes begin developing a friendship. For Peter, it feels strangely familiar. He has found another mentor. But Peter is still struggling with MJ. He wants to tell her how he feels. Every time he gets close, something interrupts him. Then MJ reveals that she knows Peter's secret. She has figured out that he is Spider-Man. Peter is shocked. But instead of being angry, he realizes that MJ likes him too. Their relationship begins changing. Peter finally feels hopeful. Nick Fury then tells Peter about the next threat. The final elemental. The most powerful one yet. It is heading toward Prague. Peter knows he can't ignore it. So he decides to help Beck. But Peter also makes another decision. He gives E.D.I.T.H to Beck. Peter believes Beck is a true hero. And he believes Beck can carry the responsibility that Tony left behind. The glass is transferred to Beck. And Peter walks away. He has no idea what he has just done. That night, Quentin Beck removes the heroic expression from his face. His allies gather around him. They congratulate him. The truth is finally revealed. Beck is not from another Earth. The elementals aren't invading from another universe. And he isn't a superhero. He is a former Stark Industries employee. A man who has created an elaborate illusion. Using drones, holograms, and advanced technology. Beck has made himself look like a hero. His real goal is much bigger. He wants to become the world's next great superhero. And now, he has access to E.D.I.T.H, Tony Stark's entire weapons network. Peter Parker has just handed his greatest enemy exactly what he needed. Peter Parker has made a terrible mistake. He gave Tony Stark's E.D.I.T.H glasses to Quentin Beck. Peter believed Beck was a hero from another universe. But the truth is completely different. Beck is a fraud. The elementals are illusions. And now he has access to Tony Stark's entire satellite weapons system. Peter has unknowingly given him everything he needs. Quentin Beck and his team begin preparing their biggest illusion yet. They use advanced drones equipped with holographic projectors to create enormous monsters. The elementals are nothing more than carefully constructed illusions. But because the drones are real, the destruction is real too. Beck doesn't care how many people get hurt. He wants the world to believe that he is its greatest hero. And E.D.I.T.H makes his plan even more dangerous. Peter travels to Prague with his classmates. He is still trying to enjoy the trip. But Beck tells him that another elemental is coming. This time, it will be the most powerful one. Peter prepares to fight. The creature appears. It is enormous. It tears through the city. Beck attacks it. Peter joins him. Their battle becomes spectacular. The monster appears to control fire, earth, wind, and water. But behind the scenes, Beck's team is controlling the drones. Peter fights alongside Beck. The battle becomes increasingly dangerous. Peter uses his webs to protect civilians. Beck destroys the illusion. The crowd cheers. Once again, Mysterio has become a hero. The world begins falling in love with him. Peter is impressed. He starts believing that Beck really could be the hero the world needs. But Peter still has doubts. He doesn't want to become the next Iron Man. He misses Tony. He doesn't think he is ready to carry that responsibility. Beck tells him that Tony believed in him. Peter begins to trust him even more. Then Beck asks Peter for the E.D.I.T.H glasses. Peter refuses. He isn't sure. But eventually, he gives them to Beck. Beck now has complete control over the Stark satellite network. Peter walks away believing he has made the right decision. He hasn't. Later, Peter discovers the truth. He realizes the elementals aren't real. The creatures are being created by drones. And Quentin Beck is behind everything. Peter is horrified. He has been betrayed. He immediately tries to warn Nick Fury. But Beck is already ahead of him. Using E.D.I.T.H, Beck discovers Peter's location. He sends drones after him. Peter is attacked. He barely escapes. Peter tries to expose Beck. But Beck uses the illusions to make Peter look unstable. He creates fake footage showing Spider-Man attacking him. The world begins believing Mysterio. Peter is now considered a threat. His friends are in danger. And Beck has control of hundreds of deadly drones. Peter realizes he needs help. But he has no Avengers to call. He is on his own. Peter travels to Berlin. He meets Nick Fury. Or so he thinks. Peter explains everything. Then suddenly, he walks through a series of illusions. The world around him changes. Fury disappears. Buildings collapse. Tony Stark's grave appears. Peter sees images of his own failures. He is trapped inside Beck's illusion. Peter eventually discovers a clue. The illusions aren't perfect. He realizes that Beck is using his expectations against him. Peter starts fighting back. He destroys one of the drones. But Beck continues attacking him. Peter is thrown onto railway tracks. A train approaches. Peter tries to escape. But he is hit. His body crashes against the train. He falls unconscious. Peter wakes up in a small prison cell in the Netherlands. He has no idea where he is. But he eventually meets someone familiar. Happy Hogan. Happy tells Peter that Nick Fury has been trying to reach him. Peter admits that he failed. He gave Beck the E.D.I.T.H glasses. He feels like he betrayed Tony. Happy reminds him that Tony didn't choose Peter because he was perfect. He chose him because he believed Peter could become something greater. Peter realizes something important. He doesn't have to become Iron Man. He just has to become Spider-Man. Peter uses technology recovered from Stark Industries to create a new suit. He builds it himself. As the suit comes together, Peter's confidence returns. He is ready. He contacts his friends. MJ, Ned, and the others are in danger. Beck is preparing his final illusion. A massive attack on London. Beck launches his drones. The sky fills with destruction. A gigantic illusion appears over London. Buildings collapse. Fire spreads. The London Eye becomes part of the chaos. Mysterio appears to save the city. But this time, Peter knows exactly what he's fighting. He enters the illusion. Beck tries to overwhelm Peter with everything he has. The illusions become more complicated. Peter sees multiple versions of Mysterio. Giant creatures. Falling buildings. A massive train. He is attacked from every direction. But Peter stops relying on what he sees. He closes his eyes. He trusts his instincts. His spider sense begins guiding him. Peter realizes that the drones are real. The illusions may be fake. But the weapons aren't. He starts destroying the drones one by one. Beck becomes desperate. He orders E.D.I.T.H to eliminate Peter. The drones target him. Peter fights his way through them. Eventually, he reaches Beck. The illusion collapses. Beck tries one final trick. He creates another illusion. But Peter sees through it. He realizes where the real Beck is hiding. Peter confronts him. Beck tries to shoot Peter. Peter dodges. The bullet ricochets. Beck is wounded. Peter takes the E.D.I.T.H glasses back. Beck lies on the ground. He has lost. Peter speaks with E.D.I.T.H. He tells the system to transfer control back to him. The drones stop. The threat is over. But Peter doesn't kill Beck. He walks away. He has finally understood what Tony wanted him to learn. Being a hero isn't about having the most advanced technology. It's about making the right choice when nobody is watching. Peter returns to his friends. MJ is safe. Ned is safe. The school trip is coming to an end. Peter finally finds the courage to tell MJ how he feels. They kiss. For the first time. Peter feels like he has something good in his life. He has survived the loss of Tony. He has defeated Mysterio. And he has finally found someone who understands him. Peter and MJ swing through New York together. Peter is happier than he has been in a long time. But then, something appears on a giant screen. A news report about Mysterio. And Peter suddenly realizes that Beck has left behind one final surprise. A video message appears. Mysterio claims that Spider-Man attacked him. He makes it look as though Peter was responsible for the destruction in London. Then the biggest revelation appears. Mysterio reveals Spider-Man's identity. Peter Parker. The entire world now knows who Spider-Man really is. Peter stares at the screen in shock. MJ looks at him. And Peter realizes his peaceful life has just disappeared. The movie ends with Peter swinging through New York. But this time, he isn't simply a secret superhero. Everyone knows his name. His identity is public. And the consequences are only beginning. Spider-Man, Far From Home is ultimately a story about Peter growing up. At the beginning, Peter is still grieving Tony Stark. He wants to escape his responsibilities. He wants someone else to take over. Quentin Beck takes advantage of that insecurity. He convinces Peter that he can carry the responsibility. But Peter eventually realizes that he doesn't need another mentor. He needs to trust himself. Tony's greatest gift wasn't E.D.I.T.H. It was the belief that Peter could become a hero on his own. And Peter finally proves that he can. But just as he begins to find happiness, his greatest secret is exposed. Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And now the entire world knows. If you enjoyed listening to this narration, please like, share, and subscribe for more movie stories. I'll see you in the next one.